My name is Shannon Schellenberg, and I'm the Program Director for the South University Program. In addition to our graduates, we are extremely proud to be joined by families and friends of our class of students, administration, faculty, clinical preceptors, program advisory committee members, and PA lecturers. Before we get started with the program, I would like to introduce some members of our administration, faculty, and staff who are joining us today. As a quick reminder, anyone who has a cell phone on, it's silent. We planned this in advance to make a point, to please ask for respect for the graduates to make sure that you have your phone silenced. First of all, Dr. Crittenden is our campus director and dean of academic affairs. Dr. Katie Tyson serves as our medical director. In addition, Stephanie Rosenberg is the director of didactic education. Rosemary Lethbridge is the director of clinical education. Additional principal faculty members include Lacey Tudor, Tatiana Singh, Kristen Sherman, Ryan Mazzone. We also have Ms. Erica Mallory, who's the enrollment coordinator. Unable to join us today is Ms. Eileen Mayer, the administrative assistant. I would like to also express my great thanks and gratitude to Dean LaShonda Scott and Juliana Dry for all their hard work and effort and support planning and executing this event. We certainly couldn't have done it without them. I would now like to welcome to the stage Stephanie Rosenberg, who will introduce our keynote speaker.
So excited to be here with you. It's my privilege and honor to introduce Dr. Stanley Furman. Dr. Furman is a preeminent practitioner in the Virginia medical community and a highly regarded gerontologist. I first met Dr. Furman at the Westport Rehabilitation Center as a brand new faculty member. I had no idea what I was doing. And I was supposed to be teaching the geriatrics course. He agreed to teach a significant portion of that geriatrics class with his broad experience. We also drew up a whole plan for their ALE class where every student would rotate through this facility and do a complete history and physical on an inpatient before launching into their clinical rotations. The students spent all of their prior ALE, which is applied learning experience. They spent all these classes in various medical practices where they shadowed providers in multiple areas, and they got to see multiple areas of medicine. When I told them of the format Dr. Furman and I had come up with, they became very concerned, alarmed, and totally certain that this new professor did not understand the rules of didactic students not touching patients. You guys were so convincing that I actually made Dr. Furman meet with me again at his facility to make certain that they would be performing full histories and physicals on the inpatients. His response was, well, I can't wait to see how they perform a full physical exam without actually touching the patient. And so that was what we did. And we launched them into clinical rotations with some experience behind them. Not only did each student get their own patient to fully work up, they also received his gentle wisdom and years of experience in the classroom environment. He would put up PowerPoint slides and then tell them, this is what they want you to know for your boards. Now I'm going to tell you the way it really is and how to safely manage your patients. And finally, while on their clinical rotations, many students got to rotate at Dr. Furman's facility, where he gave them a whole wing of patients to manage instead of just one. I am certain that those of you that rotate with Dr. Furman know exactly what to do with edema that is caused by calcium channel blockers. Need I say more? And so from the classroom to the patient's room, Dr. Furman has been a part of our program's development and an important leader in our students' development. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Stanley Furman.
Well, I'm really happy to be here. When they asked me to do this, they said, we're going to give you 15 minutes. Good luck with the 15 minutes, because I have no clue where this is going. Yes, I have paper, but as those of you who know me, I don't know where we're going to go with this ride. Let's just go. It does give me a wonderful pleasure to be standing here addressing the first graduating class. I won't go into stories because that's what I do best. 40 years ago right now, I was in my medical school's first class that went to the Caribbean after a family called Montserrat. which no longer exists because of both a hurricane and a volcano that destroyed the island. That's why I'm #1 in my medical school. So the school was in Cincinnati, and then we moved to Montserrat. My friends picked me up at the airport. They had gotten there a couple of days earlier. And I said, okay, let's go see the school. I want to see the accommodations. I said, no. We found this place called the Top Secret Bar. We're going to go there first. So after a couple of drinks, I said, okay, I want to go see the school. They said, no, let's drink some more. So way after midnight, we decided to go to the school. And what they brought me to was a foundation with 10 bricks, because that's how much the school had been built. So I learned two things really, really quickly that day. #1, island time, not the same as American time. As well, I learned that the last flight out of that little island was at midnight, and they took me after midnight. The next flight was a week later. So I was stuck there for at least a week. And no escape, but I'm glad I stuck it out, because here I am. So I asked myself, why am I up here giving you the talk? So you guys are so good at multiple choice questions, so I figured I'd give you a multiple choice. Was it because I was the first choice? Was it because I was the second choice? Was it because no one else said yes? Was it all of the above? No, I think it's E. No one really cares, but I'm here. So here are some supposed words of wisdom from a geriatric practitioner who practices geriatric medicine. So I said to myself, what might stick with you as you move on to your journey of taking care of patients? So I decided on the Furman 10 Commandments. So the obvious one is thou shalt not kill. Thank you, I know it's been taken, I'm not going to take it from you. So let's see what else I came up with. #1, this one was taught to me by an old professor from Germany. His name was Dr. Ludwig von Gross. And he said to me one day, looked at me when I was an intern, and said, you have the potential to one day be good. So you are entitled to make rounds with me. I said, okay. So what did he teach me? And this is something I've taught a lot of you. There's the 4 things that you do, and I want you to always remember this. The first thing you do when you walk into an office is introduce yourself, or a patient encounter. I don't care if it's the first time, I don't care if it's the 100th time. You introduce yourself and reintroduce yourself. The second thing you do is shake their hand. The third thing you do is sit down. The fourth thing you do is shut up. Because if yours is the only voice that's heard in the room, you are learning absolutely nothing about the patients. There's countless of you that have rotated with me that have made the diagnosis just from sitting there long enough when the patient rambles on after 15 or 20 minutes and then tells you literally what's wrong with them. It's brilliant, man. Same guy I presented a case to when I was a brand new intern. And the patient had terrible constipation. I couldn't resolve it. So I presented him this whole case. He walked into the room. He did all those 4 things. And the first thing he said to the patient, he says, I know you're having trouble. What's causing you to have diarrhea? And I go, oh my God, this old man is losing it. He didn't listen to a word I was saying. I told him about constipation. He's asking the patient about diarrhea. So she said, doc, every time I have a glass of milk, I get diarrhea. So he turns to me and said, give her a glass of milk, her constipation will go away. So I went from thinking I was really smart to realizing I was really stupid. And here's experience talking. You have to always know that you can learn from someone else. That's rule #1. #2, and one of the students came up to me earlier today, I won't mention her name. So this is #2, and she already told me that it's working. Always, and I mean always, do your own evaluation. Especially the history part, the physical part as well, but especially the history part. The worst and the best thing that's happened to medicine in America is called the electronic medical record. Why? Because there's myths and mistakes that get propagated forward for eternity. You have to do your own work. You cannot read and see what someone else wrote down. You don't know whether that's true or not. Please do your own evaluations. As well, practice full time. If you do that, you will be good in about 10 years. If you practice part-time, you will be good in about 20 years. It's not a reflection of how smart you are or how not smart you are. It's a matter of multiple patient encounters over and over and over again, and that's what's going to do. I had a medical student who went in and did a wonderful history of physical exam on a patient who had a problem with their ear, asked them every question, did the exam, came out, I really don't know what's wrong with this patient's ear. I said, okay, let's go see them together. So I walked in and said, have you been on an airplane recently? They go, oh yeah, last week I was. I said, you have a lot of pain on the airplane? She goes, yes. Okay, well, she has trauma from the student was crying afterwards. She goes, you walk in 10 seconds you make a diagnosis. I spent an hour with the patient. How did you know that? I said, well, last week I had a patient who got off an airplane and told me my ear hurt after I got off the airplane. So after 20 years, I finally realized when people get off airplanes, they have problems. So, you're learning it in your first year. Good for you. It took me 20 years to learn it. Experience. Okay? Number 3, be humble. You are not in charge of life or death. You might think you are. You're not. As well, you're only as good as tomorrow's diagnosis. So today you might have had a good day. Congratulate yourself, moveon.com. Because you're only as good as you have to come up with tomorrow. How do I learn this? I learned this when I was an intern. I was very lucky. I learned this early in my career. I had this unfortunate lady who came in with a heart attack, and she was on a ventilator, and we did CPR, and usually you stop at 20 minutes, and at 19 minutes and 57 seconds, boom, she came back alive. To the point where we extubated her, and she got to see her first child. And about an hour later, she coded again. So we go through the whole routine, and at 19 minutes and 57 seconds, she comes back to life. Child number 2 walks in. I'm seeing a trend. 2 hours later, she does it again. Same thing. 19 minutes, 58 seconds. She's testing me now. 19 minutes, 58 seconds. She comes back alive. Child number 3 walks in. I'm in Staten Island, New York. Newark Airport's 20 minutes away. We get the phone call that child number 4 is at Newark Airport. So now, 20 minutes later, the child's not there, and she codes again. So when everyone wanted to stop at 20 minutes, I go, hell no, I'm not stopping. There must have been traffic somewhere. So we kept on going for another 3 minutes, and sure enough, she comes back to life, sees all her 4 children, and has a wonderful visit with them. And an hour later, she codes again. And everybody's running into the room, and I'm walking in slowly. Because I know, at this point, I've already gotten the message. I am not in charge. And neither are you guys. And no, she didn't make it, but she was able to make it all the way through. Almost the same story, but very differently. We coded somebody, and unfortunately she died. So at the bedside, you have to take care of the patient and write them up. And I'm sure, why would the doctor be at the bedside? Clearly, I was a young intern. I was flirting with the nurse, to be honest. And about 6 minutes after the patient was declared dead, and we already told the attending doctor he's in there with the family, all of a sudden she goes, and all of a sudden she starts breathing and her heart starts again. And I go, okay, what do we do now? This is good, but not good. So I go knocking on the door. I go, Dr. Pepe, I'd like to speak to you, please. He goes, Dr. Pepe, this is not a good time. I'm talking with the family. I go, no, Dr. Pepe, I need to talk to you now. So he walks out there and says, what could be that important that you're interrupting me while I'm talking to this family? I said, well, the patient's alive. Oh, yeah, that's a good reason. So he said, okay, come with me. And he says, rookie, just come with me. He walks in the room and says, Dr. Furman has wonderful news for you. Your mother's alive. They go, how'd that happen? He goes, it's a miracle! Yeah, we are not in charge of life and death. We're not in charge. Number 4, need you to be flexible. I've told you this a whole bunch of times. Be flexible. I've seen you all in the classroom. That's not a word I would use. All right? So please be flexible. The day seldom goes as planned. For example, the second cohort of students, the ones right behind you, were at the rehab facility about, 2 months ago when we started the geriatric lectures. And we went through everything, and they were excited about being there because they heard your guys' stories. I said, well, yeah, it should be a pretty good time for you to be here, and I'm really looking forward to starting the geriatric lecture series next week. They said, no, your first lecture is this afternoon. I said, okay, flexibility is not all it's cracked up to be, but you need to be flexible, so please be flexible. All right, number 5, I'm halfway done, so you'll be fine. Always, and I mean always, have time for your family and friends. As a matter of fact, I'd like you guys to stand up right now and applaud them for being here for you. They help you when you're very All right, they didn't help me out much, you did most of it on your own. Don't ever miss a school play, a sporting event, a teacher conference. I had 5 children, I missed nothing. They reminded me that they hated that I was there each time, but I'll make time for that. Make time for you and your significant others. And because every day what we do is stressful. It's very fulfilling, but it's stressful, and you cannot be doing this 24/7. You have to have outlets. As a matter of fact, I'm here with my son's permission. He's a pitcher on the VCU baseball team, which is playing like 3 miles away. And he said, no, you go there, I'll be here. So he's not pitching today. But if you see me jumping up and down, it's because I'm getting score updates in my pocket. Number 6, reinvent yourself every few years. Either switch specialties or add on to your specialty. It'll reinvigorate you. Read literature all the time from other parts of even stuff you're not practicing, especially if you do primary care. I would take care of a lot of grandparents who were taking care of their grandchildren, and they would complain to me all the time about their kids with ADD. And I read this wonderful article, I don't even know why I read it, of 25% of the children with ADD really have problems with their tonsils and adenoids. I don't want to tell you how many children we fixed that really didn't have ADD, but what they really had was sleep apnea. Why would a geriatrician know anything about pediatrics? Because you have to expand yourself. You can't just, go into a little rabbit hole of only things that you're doing. Number 7, if you think, for 1 minute, that you are done studying after you pass your upcoming lesson, please don't take care of me or my family. One exception, you can take care of my mother-in-law. You need to read all the time to stay current as well, because none of us really know much. We know this much in medicine.